What's happening, friends and neighbors? Jedi Phoenix with you here once again. Glad to have you around. As always, if you are new to the channel, I bid you welcome. And if you are a returning viewer, of course, welcome back. Always glad to have you. So, you might remember, or you might not remember, given that it's been a while. I think it was about a few months ago I asked you guys to send me some questions. If there was anything that you wanted to know about me, whether it's about, Star Wars or lightsabers or whatever, and you guys did respond. I got quite a few questions. I just haven't had the time to do a video to answer them. But it is a Sunday afternoon as I'm recording this. And, I figured we get, now's as good a time as any to get to it. All right. So, kick back and relax. I'll take your questions one at a time. I have them written down, a little bit of a cheat sheet, given that my memory is not what it should be. But one question I am not going to answer, at least in this video, is quite a few of you asked me what my favorite sabers are out of my collection. I think that video deserves its own, that question rather deserves its own video for an answer. So I do have plenty of other questions to answer in this video. So as far as my favorite sabers, we'll get to that. That'll be a future video, say around maybe early May. But plenty of other questions to answer, so without further ado, let's get to it. How did you get into collecting sabers? You might want to kick back and relax for this one. It is a bit of a story. Back in 2020, I've talked at length about how bad it was for us, my family and I. Not just, losing my wife, but overall. I mean, we had COVID, having to separate ourselves from the rest of our family. We had to isolate at the worst possible time. Now he's 19, but, it was his junior year, which totally got torpedoed. In general, it was just bad. It was just completely bad. It was a dumpster fire. And my concern was with, as we got deeper into the year, my concern was with Christmas. Christmas has always been big with our family. And with everything that my kids had been through, I did not want their lasting memory of Christmas 2020 to be, the downer for the year, between them losing their mom and, just 2020 in general. I wanted them to have something to be a real good memory, that when they thought of Christmas, they would think of this good memory first, before anything else. And in order to do that, I knew that I was going to have to do something at least for me, would be a little crazier than usual. And that's when I thought of getting them their own lightsaber. Even if they weren't going to duel with it, even if it was just going to be a collector's item, something to hang on to, it would be, a real good memory for them. That was my plan. So I went with Ultra Sabers. That's a whole other issue. Because when I did my search, that was the first company that came up. I looked into them. From what I knew back then, I didn't know about any of the other companies. So I went with Ultra Sabers. I ordered the sabers. It took about 6-7 weeks to show up. They finally showed up in summer of 2020. Yes, I planned that far ahead. I stashed the sabers over at my parents' house at their insistence because they didn't want the surprise to be ruined. They wanted it to be huge. They knew what I had in mind, and they were totally on board with it. So the sabers arrived in late June, I think it was, and I stashed them at my parents' house. While I was waiting for Christmas to roll around, I got on YouTube. I did searches for videos. To be honest, I don't really know what got me into searching for lightsaber videos. Maybe it was just for something to do. And I found City of Sabers, Saber Sourcing, Stony Magnum, Darth Paradigm, Darth Ravens, all the channels that I've, most of them I've since come to become friends with through my own channel. But by learning about, I didn't realize there was a whole hobby behind it, And the more I learned about it, of other companies, the deeper down the rabbit hole I went and the further I wanted to go. I wanted to get deeper in the hobby. I wanted to start collecting, but I had to wait for Christmas of 2020 before I could start. I couldn't order sabers and just put them aside, stash them at my parents. That'd be a little counterproductive. So Christmas came and went. It was every bit the success that I was hoping it would be. My son Noah, who's been on the channel with me, he's got his own little collection going. My youngest son has a few sabers. My older two, they were pretty much one and done for sabers. They're not as into it as I am as a hobby, although they like what they have and they're enjoying what they have. But I went completely down the rabbit hole, as you've seen in my other videos. There was no turning back, and I have no regrets. So that's pretty much how I've gotten into the lightsaber hobby. What is your favorite saber that you don't own? Huh. Well, I'm going to pick a saber that I probably won't ever own, rather than one that I don't own but might get my hands on at some point. And the favorite saber, the coolest saber that I've seen is the Dark Ray, that folding double blade that we saw in Rise of Skywalker. I think it's Corbanth, I think, sells it. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, correct me in the comments, but they do sell it. It looks very cool, and it is also one that I'm probably not going to own because it is way out of my price range. Both the empty hilt and to get it installed, I think, would be astronomical. So that will just be one that I look at from a distance and say, yes, quite cool. But yeah, so I would go with the Dark Ray. What lightsabers do you currently have on your wish list? There are a few from Saber Forge that I want to get. There's a bunch that I'm debating on, but there are a few that I do want to get. That would be the Outcast, the Ares, and the Sentinel. Sentinel is one of the apprentice hilts in the Ares, and the Outcast. Those are two of the elite hilts. Those are three that I definitely want. There are others I'm debating on, but that'll be further down the road. From Saber Trio, there are a couple that I want to pick up. Hopefully I will have the chance to. One is the Valken. The other is the Senza. Those are two that I really want. Basically it's those five that I can think of off the top of my head. There probably will be others down the road. You never know with me. But, we'll see when I get my hands on those. What is your favorite Sith hilt? Vader is my favorite Sith. Everything about him. Anakin's fall, eventual redemption, Vader's look, my senior year of high school, art class, we did ceramic masks. I give you 3 guesses which mask I did, and the first 2 don't count. Yeah, big fan. But for the hilt, I gotta go with Maul's. Darth Maul's double blade saber. It's iconic. Alright, I mean, say what you will about Phantom Menace. I liked it, a lot of people didn't. But no denying that when we first saw that teaser, when that double blade came out, I think most of us, if not all of us, lost our minds about it. I know I did. So, as far as a Sith hilt, I would go with Maul's double blade. How many sabers do you own? And what do you have on order now? My last count, I think about 33 sabers I have. 34 if you count my Hasbro special. I'm a collector. I think it's safe to say that at this point. Actually, no, 35. 35. I thought of one, but I didn't include my original count. Yeah, what can I say? I am not at the point where I'm going to sell any of them, at least right now. I don't regret buying any of them, or at least not right now. Maybe somewhere down the road I might sell some off, maybe, if I don't give them to my kids for them to have. But that's too further down the line. That's not on my radar right now. I have no ambition to get rid of any of the ones that I have. As far as what I got on hold, that would be the Reaver from Saber Trio. I ordered that back in March. It is still processing. It'll get here when it gets here. I have not heard anything about it. So, I'm anticipating to wait on that, and I'm content to wait. If I can wait 10 months for my my Maelstrom from Vader's Vault, I can handle a few months, from Saber Trio. No problem there. What is your favorite saber color? I'm split between cyan and white. I think those would be my favorite too. Purple works too, but as far as what shade of cyan, probably the shade that Ultra Saber sells, what is it they call it? Sunrider's Destiny. I like that. I like that shade. And something about white, it just hits different. Probably the same way the purple hits different. You know? I don't think I have a least favorite color. Maybe gold or yellow and orange would be my least favorite. Not that I don't like them, I just don't like them as much as, you know, some of the other colors, but yeah, that's pretty much that. What is your favorite Star Wars memory with your brother? Yeah, I do have one. Back in, well, my brother is 6 years younger than I am. And we're on the same wavelength with a lot of stuff. You know, growing up, you know, watching pretty much most of everything that we wanted to. My favorite Star Wars memory with him would probably be in 2015 when Force Awakens came out. We all remember the hype about that. Went and saw it opening weekend. And you've probably seen videos of not just Star Wars, but for any movie. You know, the first, you know, one or two people in line that they first get in, they're like, yes, yes, we're first, we're the first ones in. For a few minutes, my brother and I, we went with my older three sons, and we were first in line, and for at least a few minutes, we were the only ones in that theater. We had it to ourselves. And my brother and I became those guys that you see in those videos. Yes, we're the first ones in here, yo! And we were high-fiving and everything, and we were not quiet. We were not, you know, indoor voices, no. That was a fun memory. You know, that was, for a few minutes we were it. You know, I don't think my kids, at least back then, got it. But my brother and I, growing up on the original trilogy, yeah, I would have to go with that. What kind of music do you like? And who is your favorite artist? As far as my favorite music, I'm all over the place, to be honest. I can go from rock to top 40 pop. I love movie scores. I've said that before. You know, John Williams, James Horner, Zimmer, Elfman, Goldsmith, Giacchino. You know, pretty much the only thing that I am not into is like thrash metal or death metal, and maybe gangster rap. Some rap I like, but the real thuggish, you know, rap I'm not really into. Death metal, I will change the channel. I'm not really into that. But other than that, you know, if I'm riding with someone and they've got like even like a country station on, whatever, leave it. I'm easy going, you know. But as far as my favorite artists, I would say Queen, Peter Gabriel, Harry Chapin. Top three, in no particular order. How's that for a playlist? Did you ever hear of the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise? This question was probably inevitable, but yes, I have heard the tragedy of Darth Plagueis, and I do recommend reading it. even though it's a Legends book now, it gives you a little insight into Palpatine, exactly how much of a villain he was. And it does dovetail in with Phantom Menace, which I thought was kind of cool. Kind of shows a little bit of insight as to what happened exactly with Anakin and the midichlorians. It is. It's worth a read. It's worth a read. Check it out. But yes, I have heard of the tragedy. What's your favorite Willy Wonka movie? This was a totally random question. But that's okay. I like random. Look, I like Johnny Depp. A lot of movies he's been in. I like Tim Burton. A lot of movies that he's done. I liked the whole concept of the Oompa Loompas, how they all looked alike. I like the fact that Danny Elfman used the songs from the book, the original book, or at least the lyrics as a basis for the songs. But that being said, I grew up with the Gene Wilder, Willy Wonka. That's the one I prefer. All right. That is my Willy Wonka. I have spoken. Are you a fan of Star Trek at all? You know what? Honestly, yes, I am a Star Trek fan, about some Star Trek. I don't mind talking about Star Trek. There are more hardcore fans than I am. I acknowledge that. I just happen to like what I like. There is more to nerddom than Star Wars. I admit that freely. I acknowledge that. When it comes to Star Trek, I haven't seen too much of the original series, but I prefer, as much as I like Next Generation, the series, for the movies, I prefer the original series movies. That would be 1 through 6. I prefer those over the Next Generation movies. I like the Next Generation movies, but I prefer the original cast. As far as J.J. Abrams movies, I've really only seen the first one. I've seen bits and pieces of Star Trek Into Darkness. I haven't seen Star Trek Beyond. As far as the other series go, I've only seen a handful of Deep Space Nine. I've seen a bunch of Voyager episodes. Haven't really watched Enterprise, and I haven't seen any of the new Star Trek stuff that's out. Not really much interest, to be honest. So I would say I'm more into the Next Generation in the original Trek, more than anything else. But yeah, I do like some of Star Trek. I think you can be both a fan of Star Wars and Star Trek. You know, they're not exclusive to each other. You can be a fan of more than one thing. So, but yeah, I am into some Star Trek. So, when are you going to do another lightsaber giveaway? I did have a few people ask me this one. Here's the thing. Okay, I'm trying to think of how I can word this without ruffling feathers or without sounding like I'm criticizing. everybody has their own way of doing things. Okay? As far as doing their own channels. When it comes to giveaways. There is no wrong way of doing it. Everybody does what is best for them. Giveaways are fun. And I also know that giveaways have a habit of drawing people in. I did a giveaway when I hit 100 subs. But I waited until it was inevitable that I was going to hit 100 subs. That there was no doubt I was going to hit 100. Because I wanted people to subscribe to my channel for my channel and not for the giveaway. You know, to me, or I should say for me, for myself, doing giveaways with every 100 subs, I don't want to say it would cheapen it, because that's not quite what I mean. It would lessen the value of it for me. See, 100 subs, that was a milestone. That was a big milestone. That when I first started out, I didn't know if I was going to get there. And that's why I waited until 100 was inevitable. To me, you know, doing it every 100 subs is not as big of a milestone as your first 100 or your first 500 or hitting 1,000. That's the big one. So I'm not, it's just me, all right? I know some channels have done, you know, every 100 or every 150 or whatever. They count down. And that's fine for them. Perfectly fine for them. It's just not me. All right? I wouldn't like it. That's just the way I am. Right now, I'm at a little over 200, about 209 as I'm recording this. I haven't thought about doing another giveaway because I am not close to a big milestone. You know? Like I said, every 100 subs is cool. It is somewhat of a milestone, but it's not the big milestone. And like I said, I want people to subscribe for my content, not for the giveaways. Because there are some people that would do that. I want my channel to grow organically. You know, I want the people to sub that are going to watch my stuff and comment and find me on Instagram and Facebook or email me, whatever, the interaction. I don't want somebody to sub, you know, did I get the gift? Did I win the saber? No, okay, well, you know. So as I get closer to, if it looks like I'm going to get 500, if that looks inevitable, then yes, I will start thinking about doing a giveaway then. All right. But I got a ways to go. It's a slow grind. You know, channel is growing, and I'm thankful to those of you who have subscribed, those of you who watch, those of you who engage my channel, because that does help it grow. But it is just a slow grind, and I have a ways to go. So, you know, once 500 is inevitable, then I will think about doing a giveaway. But not until then. That's just how it is. Like I said, that's me. That's it. So yeah, that's about gonna do it. I think I've covered all the questions. If I left anything out, I had my cheat sheet next to me. I think I covered everything except my favorite sabers. Like I said, that's going to be a whole different video. That'll be further down the road. Probably my May the 4th video. That's what I'm planning on doing it for. Hopefully. But going over in my head, yeah, I think I've covered everything. So, but thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. If you have, if you haven't, please consider subscribing. Like I said, this all helps the channel grow. The more this channel grows, the more I will be able to do. I don't plan on slowing down anytime soon. This has just been too much fun. And it's because of you guys. Alright? I love the interaction. Find me on Instagram. Find me recently on Facebook. I try to post some channel updates there. That's about it. Alright? Have a good week or a good weekend whenever you're watching this. And as always, please everybody, be good, be well, be safe, and be happy.